Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. We do Angelina Jordan videos on this channel directly or indirectly, and today we're starting out with Angelina, and we're looking at one of the most important things for modern musicians to use to promote their career, and that is music videos. Now, Angelina has used many different approaches to music videos. She's used a music video to record her studio performance with Adele's Easy on Me.
There ain't no gold in this river. There I've been washing my hands in forever.
When she was younger, her granny produced a fun video around Angelina's performance of When You're Smiling.
You crying, you bring on the rain, so stop your sign. Won't you be happy again? Keep on smiling. It's when you're smiling, and the whole world smiles with you.
And she's even produced a video based on the cartoon version of herself with Million Miles.
I know that I'm never alone. I know that I'm never alone, never alone, never alone. No.
Music videos have been around a long time. MTV was the super rocket which took music videos into the stratosphere. That was 1981. Before MTV was launched, music videos were very tame. If we look back to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody in 1975, it looks very tame compared to what we have now.
Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro. Magnifico!
And the music industry wasted very little time realizing the potential of how a music video can promote a record. A couple of years after MTV was launched, Michael Jackson catapulted his career into the stratosphere with his Thriller video. And a couple of years after that, Peter Gabriel was very creative with his Sledgehammer video.
Oh, honey bee, open up your fruit cage, where the fruit is sweet as can be.
But that was 40, 50 years ago, and music videos have gone off in all different directions, and they're barely recognizable from how it all started. And there's a very specific category of music videos which we will be focusing on today, and that is personal identity videos, where a video is made to reinforce the singer's own personal identity. Angelina actually has a few songs that she's written which fit into this category. One song she's written which is basically saying, I am Norwegian and I am from Oslo and this is who I am.
Far, far away, there's a little girl. She's singing along with the seagulls in the sky. Down and down she goes in Oslo.
Another song she's written basically says, these are my circumstances, and this is what I'm surrounded with.
You are my fire when I can see. You're the one I'm watching over me.
And 11-year-old Angelina takes a step back from her life and looks at her life from a different perspective.
What if life means you and I will shine like a star in the darkest sky?
But today we're going to explore the extremes of what an identity video can be. And we are meeting Valeria Condrea. You might remember her as Miss Psycho. And she has done a music video recently which is intensely autobiographical. Do you remember the last time we spoke with Valeria?
So, Valeria, we look forward to the next
leaps of imagination coming from the brain of Valeria Condria. Apparently, it will be soon. You're working on another video, which is almost complete.
Yeah.
So, Valeria, welcome back. It's nice to see you again. And
Welcome. Thank you. Sorry, not welcome.
I'm not editing that out.
Okay. Darn.
And last we heard from you, you had made a phantasmagoric video, and you've just made another phantasmagoric video, and you're trying to break into Eurovision Song Contest. And I watched your video one after another, and I think to myself, what is going on? We need to get into the brain of Valeria and find out all of the complexities of what she sees and how she sees it, because this is so intensely autobiographical. This is so much about you and your life and your reality and your perception. It needs moment by moment explanation, and that's why we are meeting today.
You're very right. It is autobiographical. Actually, the song is as well, not just the video. The melody itself was based on Imagine Dragons. That's for the chorus. The verse was more theatrical, but when I interpreted it in the studio, it was more apparently Billie Eilish. And last year, I decided to make a big change in my life. And I need to put out a song that stamps it, that puts on paper that I'm going to do this. I'm going to mentally envision myself in a different light. So I wrote a picture of myself, lyrics, because the song existed already. Initially it was, I painted a picture of myself. I never knew I was somebody else.
Trying to be someone else all the time till I buy inside a picture of myself.
So the whole song was going to be around that, and it was going to have a more tech vocabulary to it. It was supposed to be like I'm becoming something almost robotic or a perfect machine. And then after I went through the message with a vocal coach from YouTube, Anna Velasquez, and she said, but if you're saying that you're resetting your factory, you're going back to default. And she said, if you're going back to default settings, why don't you go back to literally to the origins of yourself? Because that's what you keep talking about. And because I kept saying the more tech vocabulary in the chorus, but I kept saying I could paint an AI version of myself, like literally everything being very designed in detail. And it went to this paint type of vibe, like museum, and then that's how a picture of myself came. Like the whole concept of the video is about a big girl who connects with her inner child as a little girl. And shows all sorts of pictures of versions of herself that the little child is supposed to pick. It's like a rebirth. That's why you see a little girl throughout the whole video.
Okay.
Because the little girl is going through all that.
I watched this video, and I do not allow myself the luxury of blinking. If I blink, I will miss too much. And some people are minimalists, and you are a maximalist. There is just...
I'm surreal.
Your cup overfloweth when you make a video. But Valeria, I cannot imagine you, knowing you as well as I do, I cannot imagine you making a video which is not autobiographical.
I think that's the only way I can make videos.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's a wonderful aspect of art, where it's a type of release and a type of therapy, and it's a type of statement of, this is who I am. And art is so wonderful like that, that it can be a type of expression of self-definition.
In my case, it was also healing, because I just finished the song a week ago. And even if I knew who I wanted to become at that point, because the debate with myself started much earlier. But while doing the video, I kept thinking and interrogating myself more on what I wanted to become and how I was going to do that. And it kind of helped me channel my vision even more.
Yeah. To be able to use songwriting and video as a channel for self-growth as well. That's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's great. And that's so unique and that's so original. A lot of artists must do their art. They have either an obsession or a compulsion, but it is not quite the way you use it. You use it as a way of almost as a substitute for therapy. Okay, I need to find myself, and I'm going to find myself through songwriting and video production. And through that, I'm going to explore all the different avenues and bring them to the surface and understand myself better. I think that's great.
So the whole video, it's happening in my mind. There's nothing realistic about it. There's huge paintings of myself floating in some sorts of museum type of exhibition. But the only realistic part of this is the intro, where it goes from the universe, zooming in until it reaches the one little girl hidden somewhere in Moldova. Because there you have Earth, and then it's a zooming in part. That was the whole idea from the outside zooming into my mind. I think it would be important to mention why I'm always blue. The color blue, when I decided to take it as a visual identity, that is all I have to talk about, was because blue is very rare to find in nature. So then blue is about sensitivity. Blue can be about royalty, about something rare. If you think royalty in arts, it's usually something exquisite, it's something niche, it's something different than everybody else. So I had that arrogance of wanting to pick blue. So when I wrote, I made the bluest blue. Bluest blue is actually a color. It's like a patent that somebody made. And the actual color is royal blue, the one that is in the video.
But blue is also sad because you say,
Yeah.
I'm feeling blue.
Yeah, it's sensitivity. Basically, you are very sensitive. You react very deeply to whatever comes to you. So it's not necessarily control of mind or self-control.
Okay.
It's a little bit about madness as well. I think it contains everything about me and everything that I want to become. So when the video takes place into blue vibe, blue energy, blue palette, it means that everything in my head is blue. So that's why you have those colors. When you see the frame containing lots of images of myself and somebody walking through them, so once it's a little girl, once it's a blue silhouette, a royal blue in a bodysuit. That's the new me. The reason she walks a little bit sneaky like a snake, it's because she's overcome that period. So I'm just looking of the past me, but I'm picking and none of that fits me. So I want that one that is straight in front of me, not those around me. Which is why the little girl walks on the same podium. You see an old 3D room with paintings. It looks like an old room from a palace or museum. And you see a girl there looking at something through the door, and you don't know what it is. And when it zooms in, she sees a statue, and that statue becomes her. Basically, she sees something, and I want to become that. But she thinks it through with her mind what she wants to become. So that statue becomes her because she can transform with her mind into whatever she wants. Because the whole point with the pictures is I saying, I'm bigger than a painting on the wall. And to be honest, when I wrote it with the vocal coach in this part, because we debated what was I bigger than and how was I going to upgrade, because I wanted to make the relationship with the statue. When I thought about it 30 years ago, when there was no social media, and your dad or mom would tell you, hey, you should be, what a good boy, what a good girl, or look how they design their career, just be like them and everything will be fine. Like a picture, a model that you would have. And when you say I'm bigger than a picture on the wall, like I don't want to be like somebody else. I don't want to be that picture. Either I paint something and I become that. But in my case, I paint something, I become that, but I don't want to be a picture hanging on the wall. I want to be the actual statue. I hesitated on writing, I want to be a moving statue. Like I want a statue that walks. I just stood with statue because I want the picture to become 3D, because just the fact that it's a picture, it's flat, so it doesn't have shape, meaning it could easily be stuck at a dream vision stage.
You have a house coming down and landing on top of a group of people. What is the meaning of that?
It was not a house. It was supposed to be a bunch of golden bars. That's what I downloaded, but there's nothing I could do to make them look like gold bars. I just downloaded golden bars and I just dropped them on people. Because that was a way of saying everything I touch turns gold. And I crushed everything. with that, but I could not transmit that message.
When I saw it, I thought it meant that everyone was being confined, that people did not have much imagination, and that they were being contained in a box. That's how I understood that image.
You could, because I said that I crush everything in my head, everything that doesn't belong here. So if you're flat, then go away.
Okay. Because if you had done it in gold bars and the gold bars landed on top of those people, then I would have interpreted it in a different way. I would have thought that meant that everyone is obsessed with materialism.
Could be. I thought about it when I designed that. I thought that could be another interpretation. There's a very important part. There's a picture at some point when there's 3 doors opening, and those 3 doors show 3 girls, 3 models, basically. And the camera walks next to them and goes further because there's no point on stopping to the doors showing way to find yourself. That doesn't fit me. So I go further.
Are you happy with the end result?
It's the last video like this that I'm gonna do. I'm okay with it.
What kind of video are you going to do next that's different?
I think people should see my face from now on. And I think it makes sense. There's a symbolic to it. Because till now, I did not dare launch my music. I was not bold.
Because this video that we're talking about today, a picture of myself, you start with a picture of you and you end with a picture of you. But the
vision and the result.
The picture that you show is not as attractive as you are in real life. You look a little mean in that picture. Is that intentional?
Yes, very.
Why?
I mean, that's more the self-protection. Because when you're very fragile, I know that technically you're supposed to own the fact that you are that sensitive. But in my case, if I painted a picture of myself that was looking fragile, not just being it, then you're subject to people just attacking you. So for me, it was like, look, I can do that too. I just don't want to, but I can. And there's a music part between the first chorus and second verse, like the transition between the two. When I say like, wow, and all that, it's part of my madness. Because I was like, oops, I can be mean.
When you sing Turn Gold, why do you whisper it?
Everything I touch when it turns gold.
Wealth whispers, but in my case, it's another type of wealth. I'm not wealthy at all.
And then towards the end, the last 20 seconds or so, the video speeds up. Why?
Oh, how did I forget about that? It's soft. A hard, soft, hard, verse, chorus. And at the end, it's like you've said it, but you need to repeat it to yourself once more. But this time, when you repeat what you want to become to yourself once more, it's pretty much impossible to keep control and just do it in a steady pace. So the reason it speeds up at the end is because in the beginning, I say things to myself. I envision myself stronger at a steady pace. It's like I'm just listing things. I want this, or I'm thinking about the past and then saying at the chorus, I want to become this, or I actually became this. But at the end, I pretty much become that, in my mind at least. Maybe that's the most important one. And after you went once more through your past and through your madness and through the turmoil in your head, you're like exhausted. But you're like, nope, I know I got a vision, but I just need one shot.
I know I got a vision, but I only need one shot.
Some limited edition, I have to remember that. So you better watch out, because those are the lyrics.
Some limited edition, so you better watch out.
And it's like, you're falling down and then you're getting up and like, I painted a picture, what don't you get? And it's faster and faster and faster and faster. And it's like out of control. So that's why it does that.
Valeria,
It's like I still have strength, like dragging your feet. I still can do it. I can do it. Trust me.
Valeria, as wonderful as the video is and as rich as the video is, your performance now in this conversation is off the charts. Your bubbles and light. This is what you should capture in your videos. This moment and this spirit and this delight. If you could capture that, it would be a winner.
That's why I think I should do videos from now with my face.
Yeah, okay. But also with this mood. If you can capture this mood in a video, delightful and charming, absolutely. And you would have 1 million followers just from being Valeria.
I'm not so sure about that, but okay. I think we should watch the video.
Okay.
Always knew I wanted it all, but since I raised myself, not knowing who am I looked in books, men, gods, and TV shows. It blurred my sight by design. Young, broken, dumb, didn't think I would fall in a big world with nobody to call, trying to be someone else all the time till I buy into the picture of myself. I made the bluest blue, royal shade and left for sale. Then I wanted more. I think so small. I'm bigger than a painting on the wall. 'Cause walls are not for me, and I would burn down any frame. I'm glowing every day. I was such a pen to play. I wanna cast a shadow, not fit to flat. Oh, now everything I touch, well, it turns cold. I don't wear Prada, I wear my mind. Oh, it took so long to realize money alone can set a story. No can the greatest brain of any kind. So I put red in my eyes, no more cry. Yellow for hair, but for skin like the sky. Now got a rainbow of beautiful lights. So I buy into the picture of myself. I made the bluest blue, royal shade and left for sale. Then I wanted more. I think so small. I'm bigger than a painting on the wall. 'Cause walls are not for me, and I would burn down any frame. I'm going every day. I was such a pen to play. I wanna cast a shadow, not fit to flat. Oh, now everything I touch, well, it turns cold. I know I got a vision, but I only need one shot. 'Cause I'm limited edition, so you better watch out. I buy into the picture of myself. I made the bluest blue, royal shade and left for sale. Then I wanted more. I think so small. I'm bigger than a painting on the wall. 'Cause walls are not for me. I was born on any frame. I'm going all free. I was such a in the brain. I wanna cast a shadow, not fit the black hole. Now everything I touch, well, it turns cold.
Okay, Valeria. So probably in another 12 months, we will meet again and you'll do another Phantasmagoric video. And I will watch it and say, what did I just see? We have to get Valeria back on.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, well, we will watch this space and we will continue to follow the intricate mind of Valeria in the future.
I think people should watch your mind, because the way you go through a video and dissect everything and find meaning, you could write novels based on every frame. So it's your mind that needs to be studied.
Well, if I see something, I just verbalize what I see. It's not rocket science. I'm just putting into words what my eyes see.
That's difficult to do.
Well, I have eyes and I have a mouth, and there's a connection between the two.
I could say, well, Alan, if you want to create a nice video, you have a hand, you have a mouth, you have a computer.
Well, we all do our little song and dance to keep ourselves happy. Valeria, as usual, it's wonderful to see you again, and
Thank you for having me.
oh, it's been great. Thank you. A few minutes ago, I said we don't have the luxury of blinking when we watch this video. Let me show you what we're talking about. Slow it right down and break it down. There are 4 seconds where Valeria sings 9 words, and she shows 4 different scenes. And the words are, I looked in books, men, God, and TV shows.
I looked in books, men, gods, and TV shows.
The first scene where she's singing I looked in books, she is seen rocking back and forth while straddling the pages of an open book, while below her there's a sign which says no signal, and in very small detail there is Chinese calligraphy above the book, which is the equivalent of saying, it's all Greek to me. The second scene, we have different levels of stairs with different men on it, all in blue. The third scene, she goes back to the original Egyptian gods. And the fourth scene, she in blue as a child is watching a futuristic television with her adult self in it, who is holding what appears to be a young Valeria in her hands, while to the left and right of her is Salvador Dali. If you blink, you miss this. And finally, Valeria writes lyrics as a poet, but she also sings like an acrobat.
This wasn't like for me, and I